are talking the latest Detroit Lions news for you folks today, and in this video, we're going to be talking about power rankings, Jameson Williams, Romeo Okwara, the Pro Bowl. We got some players that are getting some love. We're going to be talking about the schedule of certain teams because of the draft selection. That's what this video is all about. But before we do get into today's video, if you think it's a fun and sound idea to wrap rope around you, tie an anchor to it, and in the middle of the ocean jump into it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Sometimes being a Lions fan, you can sink. Also, take that like button with you and let that bad boy lose air. Let's get into today's Lions news. We're going to start off with that James Houston has signed to the active roster. In a corresponding move, Charles Harris has been placed on IR due to his injury. So Charles Harris done, James Houston enter, and that's not a bad thing, is it? Because when we look at James Houston, what he did against the Buffalo Bills, all he did was have a fumble recovery and 2 sacks with his limited starts. And when you're a team like us, we want to see what the young players can do. That's what it's all about. So I am perfectly fine with this move made by the Detroit Lions. I'm really excited to see what James Houston can do in the up-and-coming games before the season's end because, hey, we drafted this guy. Let's see if he can continue to improve, and maybe he's a piece of the Lions going forward into the upcoming years because he did do well against the Buffalo Bills. Folks, this is going to be the pinned comment for this video. Will the Detroit Lions have a top 3 draft pick? And I'm not talking about our Detroit Lions. Talk about the Rams pick because they suck. Aaron Donald, high ankle sprain, probably going to be out sometime. Let me know in the comment section. Let's continue on with some injury news. Well, Jameson Williams and Romeo Okwara news here. And kind of stinks. They may not actually play on Sunday. We all thought he would. Dan Campbell says, yeah, man, I think that would be a tall order regarding Jameson Williams playing. Anything's open, I think we'll look. I think we need to see him be able to pull quite a few reps with high intensity and contact and versatility, whatever the job description would be. So I don't want to say it wouldn't happen, but it would be a lot, I think, good for bringing them up. Talking about Okwara and Jameson Williams. I think so, but there again, we're open to anything, and they're certainly going to get some reps, and they've gotten this week, so we're going to get a real good look at these guys, but not everything's bad regarding injuries, because Dan Campbell talked about Jeff Okudah and Jonah Jackson. I think I would say Jerry Jacobs not in protocol, so he's good. Campbell told reporters Monday, and the other two, Okudah as well as Jackson, I believe phase 3 at this point, going through phase 3, so I think provided there's no setback, I think it's optimistic to say Jonah Jackson and Okudah will be back. And that's a good thing for those guys. I think we all fully expected that. It stinks that we potentially won't get to see Jameson Williams and Romeo Okwara, but if they feel they're not 100%, don't send them in. When it comes to Jameson Williams, you want him at 100%, and I'm not going to force the issue. You know, it's a little bit of a letdown because we thought it, but don't force the issue. This guy is the long-term solution with the Lions wide receiver, and their offense can still operate. It's been doing it all year long, so I have no issue with them waiting a little bit. Let's continue on with Pro Bowl voting. Interesting names here for the Detroit Lions that, regarding some of these players. Frank Ragnow, regarding centers, is the 4th center right now in Pro Bowl voting. And that's good. He's had some injury issues. We'll see, but he's getting some love. Aidan Hutchinson for edge is 6th in Pro Bowl voting, but people said this guy's a bust. Well, apparently a lot of people don't believe that, because Aidan Hutchinson's showing some good moves here. I like that he's 6th. I think that's about right. Deshaun Elliott, line safety. This one's interesting. 7th in Pro Bowl voting. Who the hell would have thunk? That one came to surprise to me. Right behind him, safety rookie Kirby Joseph. A lot of people said that this guy was a reach. He was not going to help out the Lions, but, you know, with the production that he's done, he's sitting there at 8th. A guy who I loved, who I wanted in the draft, getting some love. Love it. Penei Sewell only 9th tackle. This one I thought's a shocker. He should be higher. He should be one of the top ones for right tackle. Not a big fan of that there. What in the hell? Amon-Ra St. Brown 10th. There's a ton of good wide receivers in the NFL, and he has been injured, so I'm not going to be upset about that. But at least he's getting some love there. I like seeing that the safeties are getting some love for the Detroit Lions. A lot of love. A lot of love. Why is that? Well, I got to tell you what. Because the players that we have in this team is showing out like Kirby Joseph, like Deshaun Elliott, like Aidan Hutchinson. Rookies getting some love, and I like seeing it. It's a great thing because it shows you that we're going in the right direction, at least with acquiring talent, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it looks like we're going to have some players in the Pro Bowl just by the way it's starting right now. Let me know in the comments section, where do you have the Detroit Lions in power rankings? Because we're about to go over that. Let me know in the comments section, where do you have the Lions in power rankings? Let's get on to these power rankings right now. We're going to go over last week. USA Today had 19th, and following the loss to Buffalo Bills, they just fall a couple spots to 21st. Not a big deal. 18th from NFL.com, going to 28th. Not a big deal. Sporting News, 19th to 24th. That's a bigger drop than expected. ESPN, same, 23rd, 23rd. Didn't move an inch because of the Detroit Lions having the loss to the Buffalo Bills. Yahoo Sports, same thing, 20th to 20th. And The Athletic just falling 2 spots. So, according to the legacy media, not a big deal regarding the Detroit Lions taking that L to the Buffalo Bills. And I'm kind of right there. Like, of course, it stinks that we lost, but at the same time, you're going against a really good team, and you had a shot all the way through. We definitely did. You know, a couple issues, and we lost. Not going to go over those issues we've talked about already, but media giving some love to the Lions. Folks, right now we're sitting at pick 3, and the Rams potentially could lose out. But there's 2 teams ahead of us right now in the pick, and that's the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears. So let's get into these teams' schedule here. The Houston Texans right now, they're a 1-win football team and a tie. Very hard for the Lions to be picking first. But here is the schedule that we got to root for. The Browns. Maybe the Texans can pull up the upset and beat the Browns. They're not beating the Cowboys. They're not beating the Chiefs. They're not beating the Titans. Jaguars? Potentially. Jaguars already lost to them this year, so maybe they can get there. And the Colts, who is a weird team. So we got to root for or hope for Browns, Jaguars, Colts, because I don't think it's happening the other way. Man, oh man, it definitely feels like the Houston Texans will be the first pick, but you never know. This is the NFL. Maybe they go up there and make a move, but we'll see. Still, it looks like it's going to be the Houston Texans, if I was a bet man, to be the first pick. But we have a chance to move up to pick 2, because here is the Chicago Bears schedule. Can they win some of these games? Well, the Packers, we don't know what's going on with them. Packers are sucking too. We don't know what's going on Justin Fields. If Justin Fields plays, and the way the Packers are playing, they have a chance to win that game. They do, and that's facts. Eagles are not winning that game. Bills, they're not winning that game. Lions, they're probably not winning that game at home. Vikings, they're probably not winning that game. So we got to hope for the Packers. And by the way, I want the Lions to beat them. So just FYI, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, lose. No. Want the Lions to beat them. But, yeah, they can beat the Packers, so that's probably the closest game for them. For the Rams-Lions pick to move up to the number 2 slot. So, hope for them beat the Green Bay Packers. I think the odds are closer for the Chicago Bears to get another win than it is for the Texans. It's going to be difficult, though. Again, they're a bad football team with a ton of injuries. Darnell Mooney just out for the season. Justin Fields, we don't know what's going on with him. All that and more regarding this team. And we also got to obviously hope for the Rams to lose out, and it really does look like it. Because I said before, high ankle sprain for Aaron Donald. They lose their wide receivers 1 and 2. Who knows what's going on with Matthew Stafford, maybe done for the year. Man, oh man. Like, this is setting up really good for the Detroit Lions in the NFL draft. Better pick, the better options. Always root for the Rams, the Lambs. We'll call them the Lambs to lose this game because we need better draft pick. At every spot, I want the best option. Last year, we got 32nd pick in the draft. Hell, I'd love to have first. Wouldn't that be an interesting combination there? So we'll see going forward, folks. In the upcoming videos tomorrow, I got my Lions versus Jacksonville Jaguars video dropping. Analysis, breakdown, and prediction. Get ready for that. We're going to talk about it. Also, the One Pride podcast on my channel, 4 p.m. on Thursday. Going to be a very good show. We'll get into the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions. And I have a guest on. It's going to be a fun show. With that said, folks, adios.